Hey, I'm Bree, and this is my sister Jules. I'm an English teacher,
And I'm showing off my cute new shirt today.
and together we drink wine and unpack the brilliant writing of the hit 90s sitcom Boy Meets World. Cheers!
Cheers! Clink!
What are we drinking?
Another Winc wine, you guessed it. This one is Illusion, a 2022 red blend from California. I like this. Wait, do I like it?
I like it.
Yes, I like it. I do. I do
What
like
made
it.
you pause and reconsider?
I thought the aftertaste was kind of weird for a second, but I think that just I don't know. I like
yeah,
it.
I kind of had the same thing happen where I was like,
Yeah. No, concluded, I like it. Here's what the tasting notes say. A full body profile with prominent notes of dark fruit, red plum, cherry, and blackberry.
do you taste those things?
Dark fruit I am getting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I could identify that it's plum or cherry or anything, but
Yeah.
dark fruit resonates with me. It is considered a dry wine with the dryness likened to clever sarcasm, apparent and satisfying.
Why does that hit though? Like, why does that
I
make
know.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something like confident about this wine. Like, there's something I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It's wow. I don't think I've been stumped yet. This one stumps me.
Interesting. Speaking on your ability to describe wines in a way, what is the term that you use to call
Synesthesia.
yourself? Synesthesia. Speaking of synesthesia, it's not necessarily that, but it's in the same realm. Have you seen those viral TikToks of this woman who talks? She says she has this uncanny ability to identify celebrities as inanimate objects, and she nails it every time. She's like, Cynthia Erivo is a wait.
I'm
It's
gonna
really
agree with
funny.
it. I already know.
Yeah, if you had to get what is Cynthia Erivo to you?
I don't know. I don't think that this is just like the first thing that came to mind, but I don't know if I could defend this. But I thought about those little thumb gloves that chefs wear when they're chopping things. Like it's like a little condom.
Yes.
That's the thing I thought of for Cynthia Erivo.
That's amazing.
But I literally think it's just because she is bald.
So I can't find the TikTok, but basically she said that Cynthia Erivo is a very specific type of pen,
Okay.
and that Ariana Grande is an iPod Nano second generation pink.
Oh yeah. Why does that make sense?
No.
I totally get it. Is that the
I'm so
person
good.
that originated the Timothy Chalamet is one of these medieval shoes?
I don't know, but that is
Pretty
one of my
dope.
favorite videos of all time.
That is like the minute I saw that I was like, well, yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he is. Yeah, so this is a pretty good wine. I would recommend it for sure. Illusion. I like it. It tastes like a magic shop,
It does. It does taste like a magic shop.
right? Okay.
It's called Illusion.
Yeah, actually, this is a really good wine to be drinking for like a Halloween-y, wolfy episode.
We're nailing it right now.
Nailing it.
We also look like sailors.
Yep.
It's like, oh my God, it's like the scene in Anastasia where she's dreaming that she's going to fall off the ship and she's wearing like a little nightgown like I'm wearing, and you're the father wearing the bathing suit.
Wait, yes. You're so right. Oh my God. That scene was so scary when I was a kid. I was
Yeah.
so legitimately scared that
Yeah.
I was going to have a dream that I was jumping into water, but I would jump out the window.
We could cut this part for time, but since it's top of mind, I had a hallucination last night. It's been a minute since I've had one.
Wait. Okay, you're actually freaking me out because I had a really lucid dream last night and I haven't had one in a really long time. I want to hear yours first.
Okay, mine was very short, but it's kind of funny to think about now, but it was terrifying in the moment.
Yeah.
But I woke up and I sleep on the right side of the bed, and I woke up and right here was Rooney in the air with like a hooded cloak on, like haunting me. And I literally drop kicked and like my leg went flying and I like with my leg went, yeah. I never moved so quickly. And then I was like, that wasn't real.
That's your reaction is hilarious, but no, I understand how scary it is. I don't know how to explain it to people who've never hallucinated. It's the essence of fear. It's like your body is fear. I don't know how to describe it.
It's awful.
I had a very lucid dream where it was real in that moment, and then I like quickly was like, no, that wasn't real. Where I was in the bathroom washing my hands. I really thought I was awake, washing my hands in the morning, getting ready for work. Like it was one of those. And all of a sudden, like even thinking about it freaks me out. I just felt two hands grab this arm and yank me up to the ceiling. And it brought my whole body up off the ground. And I was on the ceiling looking down at the sink. And I felt this person grabbing my hand. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And then I woke up.
I wonder if that was you at my bedside. And I wonder if we had that dream happen at the same time.
I don't think it was me. I think something haunted both of us last night for sure.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't you, but I wouldn't be surprised if we woke up at the same time. Like, what was that?
I would not be surprised either.
Because like I don't just wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
This is staying in the podcast because this is tea.
Anyway, let's get into the episode. We watched season 2, episode 6. Who's Afraid of Cory Wolf? Synopsis: Cory goes through teenage changes, thinking something evil is happening. Air date October 28th, 1994. You're going to be born in the next, 2 weeks. Yeah. Oh my God, crazy.
I was cooking.
You were almost done. It was written by Mark Blutman, and Howard Busgang, 2 new writers whom we do not know. 18 million viewers for this one. What were your first impressions?
This was a silly one.
Yeah.
I think we had a little bit of fun with this one. But you know what? I love a spooky episode, and we'll get to our favorite spooky episode at some point. But I love a good themed episode, like a Christmas episode, a Halloween episode. The Halloween episode is always my favorite because Halloween is my favorite holiday.
Yeah, I really didn't like this episode. I thought it was weird. The writing was weird. I kind of had a thought the whole time where I was like, wow, these actors, good for them for taking on all of these new versions of their character that these writers seem to be throwing at them. Because I was like, wow, Sean's lines don't feel like Sean to me, but Sean's doing it and he's figuring it out. And
yeah, Cory, I felt that way too.
Yeah, and Cory doing the nailed it. He made that funny. I don't know. I just felt like everybody. I was like, what are we doing in this episode? This is weird.
Yeah, there are a few funny lines for sure. There was one that I actually laughed out loud at, which we'll get to. But it wasn't the best by any means.
But I will say that the more research I did on the episode, the more I was like, oh, okay, I think I understand what they're trying to do.
Yes, I did the same thing after the episode. I totally agree. I see what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
But I don't like that we had to seek that out to get it,
It was a very obscure reference.
Yeah.
So this episode is a reference to a 1941 movie called The Wolf Man, and a lot in this episode will become more interesting and more humorous if you have seen that movie or know anything about that movie. And I felt like I was reminded of a couple episodes ago when Jason referenced The Elephant Man. And I was like, oh, I feel like these writers, of course they're film buffs, right? Like they went probably to school for writing and film. And so they have all these obscure film references that I thought it was a mistake to assume that everyone would understand these references. So I think that's something that I'm like, oh, maybe they're learning that that's not the way to go about something that's going to be viewed by 18 million people across the country, because it's going to be lost on them. And maybe only a very small percentage of those people are actually going to understand the reference. So we start off with Cory in his room. It's nighttime, it's raining. We get like very classic Halloween, like dun dun dun, thunder. And he's sitting at his desk with a quill in his hand, and it's the biggest quill you've ever seen in your life. And he's just like narrating aloud what he's writing, and he's saying October 31st, All Hallows Eve. I, Cory Matthews, leave this journal so that those who knew me can understand my terrible fate. For tonight, at precisely 9 o'clock, 8 Central, when the moon shines full, I will become the most terrifying of all creatures, the werewolf. I laughed at the 8 Central line. We like never hear that anymore because we don't watch cable television.
8/7 Central on ABC Family.
So yeah, he thinks he's turning into a werewolf, and Amy enters holding her duster, asking him what he did to her duster, because that's where he got his fake quill. Sean enters wearing a wig that looks like Cory's hair, and he asks Cory if he's going to the Halloween party. Cory says he can't go. He has to stay alone, locked in his room where no one can see him. Sean, says, well, what about Topanga? She's meeting us here, remember? So there's just a little note to the viewer that Topanga's on her way. And Cory says, no, I told her it wasn't safe. I can't be responsible for my actions. Only evil will come from tonight. We, the audience, know that he believes he's turning into a werewolf. He doesn't tell Sean in this scene. He just says, let me, it all started last night, and then we go back in time. So this was, I think, our first episode where we start off in the future and then we go back in time to learn how we got to the point that we're at. Did that confuse you at all?
No.
Okay. I don't know why I got a little confused. Like when Eric tells him, you're turning into a werewolf. I was like, you knew that. And then I was like, oh, no, you didn't. Wait, we're back in time. Maybe it was just me. We're back in time. Cory's taking the garbage out. Feeney tells him, I wouldn't be taking that garbage out if I were you. Haven't you heard? It seems that a wolf escaped from the Philadelphia Zoo. Cory's like, so how come you're taking the garbage back inside the house? And Feeney says, wolves have a keen sense of smell. The garbage would only attract them. Now, for me, as a writer, I'm like, oh, so the wolf's keen sense of smell is going to become important. I thought that was going to be something that we would need to pay attention to. It wasn't. It was just a device to get Cory to find out from Feeney, from someone, that a wolf has escaped from the zoo. Right after that, Feeney goes inside, and there's this bunny in the bushes. We don't know it's a bunny, though. Cory just sees, rustling in the bushes. He's like, huh? Eric and a girl? Morgan? And then he, goes into the bush, and then we just hear, ah! So we're back. I think this is what threw me. So, we go back in time to when he got bit by the werewolf, quote unquote. Then we're back in, the present, where Cory's back in his room with Sean. And Sean's like, come on, there's no way you were bitten by a wolf. I think this is what happened, was I missed now we're back in time again. I thought we were moving forward, and then I got confused. So back in the bedroom earlier, Cory's in the bathroom, and Eric's in the bedroom, and the door is close to the bathroom, and we just hear Cory's voice, Eric, what you're about to see may shock you. Eric's like, then put a towel on. Cory leaps out of the bathroom in a robe, arms out wide, and goes, okay, look. And Eric goes, oh my God, I don't see anything at all. Cory's like, don't toy with me. It's all over. I've got hair, huge amounts. So Eric convinces Cory in this scene that he was bitten by a werewolf, and that's why he has all this hair and he's changing.
At this point, I was thinking, I feel like Cory's a little too old to fall for this.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's why I thought it was too silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess by that point, I was like, I'm just going to go with it. But it wasn't believable by any means.
Not even a little bit. Eric hands him a newspaper. Cory reads the first article he sees, Siamese twins eat their way to freedom. And then Eric's like, no, and he flips it over, and Cory reads, teenage werewolf probed by top scientists. And Eric's like, kid was on a camping trip, got bitten by something he didn't get a good look at, kind of like you. Cory's like, whoa, what happened to him? Eric's like, oh, nothing, he just turned into, and then thunder and lightning strike, scary music, a werewolf. And Cory immediately believes it. But dude, you watched the whole telegram video about hormones. Like, you don't, like, it was so dumb to me. I was like, you know what's happening. Like, you knew you were going to grow hair. The school taught you about puberty. They didn't neglect to teach you these things like our school did.
Yeah. They've set him up to be really smart and almost like ahead of beyond his years in some ways. So this was particularly unbelievable because of that.
Totally agree. And I was trying hard to read it like as an allegory, right? I was like, okay, him turning into a werewolf represents him turning into a man.
Yeah.
But it was even a little bit messy in that regard. Like at one point, the fortune teller, who we'll get to, tells him, like, you're going to develop the appetite of a wolf. And I was like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. Like, we're going to see Cory's appetite increase, because that definitely happens when boys like are growing. I feel like they eat so much. And then that didn't really happen, you know.
What does allegory mean?
Allegory is like, it's the whole story is metaphorical in the sense that like Animal Farm is an allegory, and all the pigs actually represent figures of the Russian Revolution.
Yeah.
So right. So that's.
Yeah. I thought what was most interesting is the themes of him, developing an appetite for things he hasn't before. He's going to destroy someone who cares about him, and him being very scared that would happen. Obviously, it is a metaphor for sex, and I think even darker, like a metaphor for men doing horrible things to women, and he is afraid to do that because he loves Topanga and he doesn't want to do that to her. He's worried that him turning into a man will make him, I'll say it, be a shitty person. But that's not Cory, and we see that at the end, that he's not a bad person even in becoming a man.
I think you nailed it. I think that in that regard, the episode had a lot of room to be really impactful, actually.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why I was a little bit disappointed in the conversation he had with his dad. I thought that was going to be like a whole moment, but it was very short.
Agree. It didn't really get into any of the real of becoming a man and what it means.
It was very focused on the werewolf.
Yeah, that's what made it silly to me. I was like, okay, we get it. It's an allegory. So why don't you give us the important stuff? It also went, like I said at the beginning, a little too far with the Wolfman references. Like, I was like, we didn't need the fortune teller. I agree that it should have been more deeper conversations with Alan, maybe even Feeney, maybe Turner. And then they were like reading Lord of the Flies. And as the English teacher, I'm always interested in the literary reference. I was like, and
I was hoping they would dig
really
into that. Yeah.
Right. Which is all about these adolescent boys who are forced to essentially become men on this island. And I mean, it's a perfect literary reference for this, because in a microcosm, what this author has done is like show why men have, because do you remember at the beginning, the atom bomb has hit? So the world has just been destroyed. So essentially, like, what's going on the island is a microcosm of what's happened in the world, men trying to overpower and take over each other. So it's a brilliant novel. But yeah,
I'm
so
nodding
like
along as if I've read it.
You've never read it?
No.
Oh, it's really fascinating. It's really interesting. Yeah. So a lot of lost opportunities in this episode, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I would have loved to know more about that. I got excited when I saw Lord of the Flies on the wall. I was like, oh yes, let's talk about it. Yeah. And then we did not.
And the line that Turner says isn't even a good one. Like, he could have said so many things about that book. He could have said what I just said, like something simple as like a bunch of boys who have to quickly become men, or who have only just grown up but are still acting like, school children, trying to overpower one another and assert their dominance over one another. And I think what he ends up saying is something like, a bunch of boys on an island, no luxuries, no malls. And he kind of says it with this sick, like, pleasure, like I would love to watch you squirm without your luxuries. So Eric tells Cory that he's turning into a werewolf. Then we're in the kitchen and, Cory comes down. Amy has breakfast on the table, but there's also a huge box of soda cans. Alan is shaking each can individually. Cory brings up the werewolf thing. I've got this math problem. If a werewolf leaves a train station going 40 miles an hour and another werewolf leaves going at 60 miles an hour, do werewolves exist? And Alan says, Cory, werewolves don't exist. Relax. It's just a myth. You know, as you get older, you'll learn how to separate myth from reality. But he keeps shaking these soda cans, and Cory's like, what are you doing? Alan says, one of our soda distributors heard about this guy who robbed a jewelry store and made off with 5 diamond rings. And Amy's like, and he hid those diamond rings in 5 cans of soda. Thus, your father and other grown-ups who can separate myth from reality have been boosting soda sales. So, like, everyone's just super gullible in this episode. Like, I thought this was supposed to be a wise show where we learn from all these wise adults how to be wise. And they're just all being idiots.
Yeah. There was a recurring theme throughout this whole episode where everybody was like gullible to something.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how that tied back to the main theme of this episode.
Exactly. It's like we lost the plot.
Yeah. Or like the plot was Cory believes he's a werewolf and not the underlying themes.
Yeah. This was not a great episode. Sorry, guys. Writers, like, you really missed the mark on this one. There was a lot of opportunity there, I will say.
Yes.
Cool idea. Not well executed. This reminded me of the messiness of the Hamlet episode, but this one is even worse than that one.
Yeah.
So now we're back in Cory and Eric's room, the original night, like the first night at the beginning of the episode. And again, Cory's talking to Sean. Again, I don't know, probably me, but I was like, wait, what timeline is this?
We're moving back and forth a lot. It seems unnecessary. At that point, he should have just been narrating what's going on versus jumping back.
Agree.
Because some of what happens in the past happens in that room, so we're confused. And a lot of what happens the day that it happens, which means he's wearing the same outfit. Do you get me?
I do, but I didn't get the episode. You have somehow been clearer than the episode was.
Yeah.
Cory's now telling Sean, it's more than just hair. I've grown strange new urges. Last night, I'm watching the movie Untouchables. You know the scene where Capone is about to smash heads with his baseball bat? Sean's like, awesome scene. And Cory goes, except I'm not into it. The whole time I'm thinking, I wonder how cold the water is on Baywatch.
Oh, I just got that. Okay.
Yeah. But it was a good subtle way of showing us that he's thinking about sex, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't I thought that was actually kind of brilliant because it was like
brilliant.
It would have been too uncomfortable. He was like, oh, I was thinking about someone's boobs, or I was thinking about someone in a bathing suit, or I was thinking about whatever. But he brought us to Baywatch, but he didn't focus on the women. He focused on the water and how cold it was. You know, it was good.
Yeah, it was really good. It was lovely.
And Sean's like, geez, whatever you got it bad.
But also, like, Sean has it, does he not?
Yeah.
He's getting it with the ladies.
The way that Sean...
Yeah, I feel like he has already gone through what Cory's going through, and he's acting like he has no idea what he's going through.
Everyone was gullible and not themselves in this episode. No one was acting like their character. Yeah, I totally agree. Because Sean's character has consistently been ahead of Cory in terms of development. Sexual development. Maybe not wisdom.
Wisdom.
So Cory, now we're going to get another flashback. So Cory then says, I didn't know how bad I had it until lunchtime when I had this strange craving for a snack. This also confused me because I was like, wait, why is he at the yogurt shop on a school night, a school day? But I guess it's not a school day. So are we to assume what?
It is a school day.
The day before?
Oh.
Right? Like we don't... I was so confused about time in this episode. Because he says at lunchtime, right? Or maybe we're to assume that now that they're in high school, they're allowed to leave campus for lunch?
Maybe. So many questions.
No, he did go to school. You're right. Because the flashback was the morning of the soda cans, he was heading out to school.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so he should have been in school. So we have to assume then that they have an open campus policy for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Cory has a lot of money in this episode. He gives out like so much money. So he goes to Frank's House of Yogurt. He's ordering...
And a cult. House of Yogurt and a cult.
Frank has a Russian accent. He says that they have the flavors bucket of blood, like strawberry, bucket of guts, more or less chocolate, and smashed and severed intestines. I don't recommend that. Cory's like, can you mix the blood and guts? Frank says all the time. So there's a radio playing in the background, and we hear that like the search for the missing wolf continues, and that people have said they've seen sightings of wolves and even werewolves. Cory's like freaking out. He starts up a conversation with Frank, who gives him his ice cream. Of course, like, werewolves, isn't that silly? And Frank says, there are things and there are things. First of all, I laughed. But second of all, I was like, I feel like that's from something. So I Googled it. And it is an Aldous Huxley quote. There are things and there are things is a common saying that emphasizes the existence of both known and unknown realms and the potential for experiencing things beyond our usual perception, which is perfect for us after having had a shared nightmare dream experience last night.
Yeah.
There are things and there are things.
God, we're coming to the table with better themes than the writers of this episode.
We are. So Frank says there are places where such things are revealed for $5 complete. So Cory gives him a full $5. How much do you think the ice cream probably costs? The yogurt, frozen yogurt?
Maybe like $1.50.
Oh my! I have spent over $12. Mind you, I am getting a lot of frozen yogurt. I like a big frozen yogurt pour, okay? But still...
You don't have to defend your yogurt purchasing habits.
Over $12 is insane.
Yeah, for one thing of frozen yogurt. Yeah, that's
Right.
kind of wild.
It's wild. So he hands him the $5 and he leads Cory into the back where we have that famous actress. Who is that?
I don't know who that is.
Oh my God. Phyllis Diller. Phyllis Diller is the voice of the Queen in A Bug's Life.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So recognizable.
Yes. Yeah.
She's in Family Guy. She's Thelma Griffin. She's in Robot Chicken. She's in the Powerpuff Girls. She's Mask Scara.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Phyllis Diller is playing Madame Uspenskaya. So this is the like very explicit reference to the Wolfman movie. Okay, so Maria Uspenskaya is the real name of the actress who played Maleva, an old Romani fortune teller in the horror films The Wolfman, 1941, and Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman in 1943. Uspenskaya is also, by the way, like checking for diamond rings in a Coke can, so we're not to assume that she is trustworthy. She says to Cory, "Come to me, werewolf boy." And Cory's like, "How did you know?" Uspenskaya says, "I know many things." And Cory sits. She says, "I know you were bitten by a wolf." Cory says, "It's true." Uspenskaya says, "I know you are now becoming a wolf." Cory's like, "That's amazing." Uspenskaya, "I know you are recently divorced." Cory's like, "What?" Uspenskaya says, "You're not Billy Joel." So the script says like she leans in and squints, and I guess she does do that, but I think she was supposed to play it like she can't see. Mm-hmm. But she didn't look like she couldn't see.
Yeah.
So I was really confused by that.
Me too. Yep.
Like that would have been kind of funny, I guess, because maybe Cory kind of does look like Billy Joel if you're squinting a lot and can't see.
Yeah. But that wasn't clear when she said that. I agree.
So she says, "All right, Wolfie, your body's about to go through many changes. You're going to develop an appetite for things you've never eaten before." So I took it as, okay, food. Cory's like, "Please don't say head cheese because I don't eat." And Uspenskaya just interrupts. I thought that was so funny. Do you know what head cheese is?
What's head cheese?
Oh my God, head cheese. It's basically a dish made from the head of a pig or calf set in aspic. Kind of like the way salami, it's like packed meats, but it's made from the head of pigs and calves. Oh. Sometimes their tongue too.
Oh,
so
these
gross.
pictures. It
Right?
literally looks like throw up that was like in gelatin and then cut in slices.
It really does, actually. Like when you throw up and it's particularly chunky.
These pictures are bombastic.
They really are. I'm looking too.
Horrified by this. This looks like some AI generated BS meal. Like AI generate like a trauma inducing meal.
But you eat
This
it on
is
a
actually the
cracker.
real theme of the episode of horror.
This is the most horrific part of the whole episode. You're so
Yeah.
right. So of course, like, please don't say head cheese. And Ospinskaya says, then the pentagram, the 5-pointed star, will appear in your hand. This is another kind of explicit reference to the Wolfman, which I'll give a synopsis. So the Wolfman is about a man named Larry Talbot. He's returning to his ancestral home in Wales to bury his recently deceased brother. He falls in love with a local girl named Gwen Conliffe. In our episode, This is Topanga. Gwen runs an antique shop and he ends up buying an old walking stick from her with the head of a werewolf on it. That's the opener for her to basically explain to him that the werewolf is a man who changes into a wolf at certain times of the year, and that the werewolf always sees a pentagram on the palm of his next victim. It's kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, where Larry is the wolf, but he doesn't know he's the wolf because he doesn't know when he's turning into the wolf, but he's killing people. So all this stuff happens. And then towards the end, when he's about to leave town because he wants to like protect Gwen, he sees a pentagram on her hand. And he tells his father that he is a werewolf and that he killed this one villager. But his father thinks Larry's delusional, and he ties him to a chair to prevent him from leaving and prove to him that he's not a werewolf. But when the moon rises, Larry transforms, he breaks free. But then the fortune teller ends up arriving at the last minute, and she actually uses a spell to prevent him from killing Gwen. And the end of the movie is basically Larry turning into a human again, but he's dead. So this is supposed to be like that. So Topanga is Gwen, so she's gonna die. But it's not the pentagram on her hand in this, it's the pentagram on Cory's hand. Cory goes, is it gonna itch? Because if it's wool. Wait.
Sorry, I just remembered that reference. I forgot about that.
Right? Wool. The way he says wool is funny.
It's wool.
And then she says, there's a girl who feels deeply for you, but when the madness of the wolf comes upon you, you will repay her love by killing her in a gruesome, evil manner. And she says, go ahead. Doubt someone who is licensed by the state.
I laughed so hard because of the camera panning as she pointed. It followed her finger so perfectly.
Yeah.
It was just so tasty.
And it's the biggest license ever.
Yeah. I'm like, girl, how did you get licensed?
So Cory calls her nutty. She says, you're 30 minutes late to your English class. So he heads out, and she also predicts that he has a wedgie. And he's like, oh my God, that's amazing. So we're in Turner's class, and this is where we get his like one terrible line about the Lord of the Flies. And he says, so we got these snotty little prep school boys stuck on an island in the middle of nowhere. No lamps, no cars, no shopping malls. Of all the things for him to say, too, no lamps?
No yeah, you're right. Why? Like, weird things happening in this episode.
Like, not no electricity, no lamps.
No lamps?
Not no light bulbs, not like no specifically like floor lamps, like no lamps.
I was thinking of floor lamps. No floor lamps.
Cory enters. Turner's like, Matthews, you're 40 minutes late, so we started without you. Hope you don't mind. Sean asks Cory where he was while Turner's teaching. He's like whispering to him. Cory's like, there was a fortune teller at the yogurt parlor. Sean's like, you tortured a fellow named Yogi Tyler? Cory's like, yeah, I'll write you a note. So he goes to write Sean a note. Turner sees him with the note. He wants to take the note, and Cory crumples it up and stuffs it in his mouth so Turner can't see the note. And then we hear Uspenskaya's voiceover. You will develop the appetite of the wolf, a taste for things you've never eaten before. Cory's like, and then the bell rings. The whole class gets up to leave except Cory. Turner asks, okay, Matthews, step into my office. You show up way late. You're eating paper. Cory's like, I'm sorry. I got some things on my mind. Turner's like, oh, yeah, well, I've never been 13, so I wouldn't get anything you could possibly be going through. Wait, I'm missing something here. So it just says that Turner says, can I have my keys back? But I forgot. How did Cory get the keys in his hand?
He picked them up and then Cory sits on his desk.
Oh, so he just picked up these keys and he was playing with them. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
So Turner's like, yeah, can I have my keys back? And Cory's like, oh, yeah. And then he looks and the keychain is the shape of the pentagon, not a pentagram, the Pentagon, like the building. And Turner says, it's the Pentagon. I got it this summer in Washington. Oh, and by the way, this is actually the second reference to the Pentagon in the episode. Did you notice that?
Is it?
Yeah. So when Eric is telling Cory that he's going to turn into a werewolf, he tells him this story. He says there was this kid on a camping trip and he got bitten by something he didn't get a good look at, kind of like you. Cory's like, what happened to him? And Eric says, oh, nothing. He just turned into a werewolf. And he says they keep it in a secret steel-walled room in the Pentagon.
Oh, interesting.
So that was like one good writing move where they like presented at least a universe in which the Pentagon is on people's minds and exists, right? Mm-hmm. So then we hear Uspenskaya's voice again. The sign of the pentagram will appear on your hand. And then Cory looks at his hand and Cory's voice comes on as a voiceover and he goes, the Pentagon or the pentagram? Uspenskaya's voiceover says, same difference. And Cory's like, ah! And he runs out into the hallway and he runs into Topanga. Topanga. I can't wait till she finds out her character. She annoyed me again. I was like, girl, you're so fake. But I'll give her the benefit of the doubt with this one because this episode did not have good writing. So she's like, Cory, are you okay? And Cory's like, I think I'm okay. Feel my nose. Is it cold? Is that a thing like for dogs or werewolves? Werewolves. For wolves?
I think so because I think their noses are usually wet and a wet nose would be cold.
Got it.
Yes.
Topanga's like, if something's wrong, you can tell me. It's not like I don't care about you. I was like, so contrived. And Uspenskaya says, we hear her voice again. You will kill the one girl who cares for you. Cory's like, listen to me. She grabs Topanga. You can't care for me, okay? If you do, only harm will come to you. It'll never work out between us. I was like, relax, Cory.
Yeah.
No one is asking you out. Like, we're not dating. Taking this a little too far.
I know, like we've made this assumption throughout the episode that she's into him. And yeah.
It's just like implied. It's weird. I do remember being a kid and being like, did I miss an episode? Like, why is she suddenly, why? Like when they kiss, because they kiss in this episode. We haven't even talked about that. Like that wasn't even our first impression. Like, oh my God, they kiss. Oh, this is their second kiss though, because they did kiss in 6th grade.
Yeah, but it's different now.
It is different now.
He's a man.
He's a man. Yeah.
And she has boobies.
Yeah, I have a lot. We'll get there, but I have a lot of questions for the actors. Like, did they feel comfortable doing this scene? You know?
Yeah.
So Topanga's like, Cory, get a grip. We're only going to a Halloween party. And I was like, yeah, Cory, get a grip. And he's like, yeah, that's how it starts. Then we get married, have kids, and I eat them. And I was like, wait, what? Did they ask each other as to be dates, like to be each other's dates for this Halloween party? Like when did this happen?
Yeah, this didn't happen.
It didn't. Annoyed. Then as a kid, I was annoyed by this because I was like, wait, what? I wasn't annoyed because I legitimately thought, I remember thinking I'd missed an episode. I was like, oh, there must be an episode where they ask each other out to this Halloween party.
And they have this like mutual realization that they're into each other.
Right. Cory's like, yeah, I'm going to eat our children. And Topanga's like, maybe you should take a nap before the party. Cory's like, farewell. Think of me as I was. And he runs to the exit and Feeney says, Mr. Matthews, no running in the halls. We are not animals. And I've been like skipping this actually, but Cory keeps going, oh, through the whole episode. So he does that again here. It was actually really cute when he did it the first time when Amy came in the door. he like closed his eyes when he did it, and he sort of like slowly opened them at her, and he just had this like very suave, cool maturity about him. And yeah, I was like, oh wow, he really delivered that really cheesy line or sound in a way that was just cool and confident and mature. Feeney just shakes his head. So now we're back in Cory and Eric's room, back on the night where Cory and Sean are talking. I was so confused. So Cory is telling Sean everything Madame Ospinskaya predicted has come true, and now only one part of the prophecy remains unfulfilled. I gotta kill Topanga. Sean's like, what a drag. Girl finally likes you and you're gonna off her. And Eric enters carrying a dog bowl full of food, two dog bowls, food and water, and he puts them on the floor between Sean and Cory. So Eric puts the food down and he just goes, oh, and Cory joins him. Oh, Eric exits and Cory just goes, he's family. It was very Balto. And Sean's like, listen, why don't we head down to the drugstore? If they've got stuff that can take the stash off my mother, they've got to have something for you. I'm so sick of these like ugly mom jokes. It's just like,
it's either like ugly mom jokes or like sexy mom jokes.
Yeah.
And not just mom jokes.
It's really damaging to girls and their development.
Also, you forgot to mention that Cory gets down on all fours and eats dog food out of the dog bowl and drinks the water too. You like fully committed to that.
And the audience loves it. So Cory's like, don't you think I already thought of that? Listen, so after school, I went back to Madame Ospinskaya's. So now we're back in the future. No, we're back in the past. Ugh. And it's so confusing. And we're in the back room at Frank's House of Frozen Yogurt again, and some occult. And Madame Ospinskaya is sitting reading the newspaper. And Cory tells her, everything you predicted has come true. I found out there's this girl who cares for me, just like you said. She's like, have you killed her? Cory's like, no. She's like, why not? He's like, I don't know. She's like, oh. You won't kill her until the moon is full. So she tells him that he has until 9 o'clock tonight, because that's when the moon's going to be full, apparently, which I don't really think that's how the full moon works.
Yeah. Like what happens at 9 o'clock versus 8:59?
Right. Like it's not like, oh, it's almost full. Oh, no, it's full. Like that's not how moons work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. So Cory's like, isn't there an antidote or something? And Ospinskaya says, that's easy. Wear a garlic necklace and get back in your coffin. Cory's like, I'm not a vampire. I'm a werewolf. She's like, tomatoes, tomatoes. As long as you're not my son. Okay, that is 100% a joke that went over most people's heads probably. So that is a reference to the movie. Because her son, he is one of the villagers who the werewolf Larry kills. Like, who's going to know that? Who's going to understand that line?
Yeah, not me.
Not me.
Probably not any kid watching this.
Definitely not. Ugh. So Cory's like, you got to help me. And she says, okay. Sit. Good boy. The only way to end the curse is to be shot through the heart with a silver bullet fired by one who loves you. This was also in the movie. Cory's like, couldn't I maybe just start with some vitamin C and work my way up? Then we are back in the Matthews kitchen. This is where we get the scene where Morgan's got a devil costume on and Amy's like, Morgan, that costume is so you. Cory's like, where's my stuff? And she's like, your stuff, let's see. That would be, and she starts reading the list he gave her. Wolfbane, silver bullets, gun. Oh, the lady ahead of me took the last gun. Wouldn't have that joke today. Cory's like, fine, Mom, is that too much to ask for? That you could take a minute and save my immortal soul? But you got Morgan gummy worms. So now we're in the living room. So Alan's like, you're going through some changes, aren't you? Cory's like, yes, I am. Alan says, you know what those changes are? Cory goes, seriously? No kidding? Alan goes, yeah. Cory says, I'm a werewolf. Ow. I thought that was cute. And Alan says, he hugs him and he says, of course you are. And he kisses his head and rubs his arm. And he says, and if you misbehave as a werewolf, I'll be happy to shoot you. But on the off chance that you're turning into a man and not a wolf, this could just be the beginning of adulthood. Cory says, Dad, I'm not becoming a man. I'm becoming man's best friend. Listen, just put some paper on the floor and I'll get the hang of it. Alan says, down, boy. Remember when you were little and you used to watch me shave and you wanted to shave, so I gave you a razor without a blade in it and you put whipped cream on your face and scraped it off? Maybe it's time I gave you a real razor. Wouldn't have to be very sharp. How do you think you'd look with a beard? Like, what do you mean? You just said that he wouldn't really need a sharp razor because he doesn't really have a lot of hair.
Unless he's saying, like, you know, if you want to shave, you can shave, but if you don't, you'll probably have a beard at some point. How do you think you'll look with a beard?
Everything was off in this episode. So Alan goes upstairs, weirdly, because that didn't feel like the end of the conversation to me. Like, he just says, how do you think you'd look with a beard? And then he pats him, and then he heads upstairs. Weird. And then Cory stands up and goes and looks at himself in the mirror. And in the mirror, he sees lightning strike, and then he sees his face transform into a werewolf face. So then he screams, and he runs upstairs. And, oh, Alan had gone upstairs to get the razor. That's what it was.
Yeah, but he didn't say that he was going to do that. He just left the scene. And I was like, that's it? Yeah, he wasn't like, I'll be right back.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we needed. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was like, you just abandon your son when he's going through something really big?
Yeah. It's bizarre. So he's holding up the razor. Cory's panicked. It's happening. Just like she said. Oh. Now we're back on the night that Cory's in the room with Sean. Cory's writing again at his desk. So I hope you will all forgive me as I cannot escape my destiny. Fondly, Cory A.O. Matthews. Sean, what's the A.O. stand for? And Cory goes, ooh. And Amy says that Topanga's here. So Cory looks at the clock and it's 8:58. And he's like, oh no, she's here. He goes over to Sean. Sean, I need you to do something for me. Promise me you'll keep Topanga away from me. Swear by everything holy that you'll do everything in your power. And Topanga walks into the room and he's like, she's standing behind him, to keep that poor innocent girl from a terrible. And he turns and he sees Topanga and he goes, hi, Topanga. And then he turns away. Ah. Sean's like, I'll just leave you two alone. Have a good time. How? And he leaves. And he goes to the door, which immediately I was like, oh my God, they're going to kiss.
Yeah. Also, I was like, how is she allowed in his room without parental supervision? Crazy.
The door closed without Sean there. Topanga says, hi, Cory. Cory says, Topanga, I warned you not. Oh boy, why'd you have to wear that? Topanga was wearing a poofy, age-appropriate outfit. It wasn't like her in the bathing suit or her in the outfit on when her boobs were being awkwardly talked about. So I was like, all right, I'm glad that they didn't make her wear something uncomfortable. And it was I thought it was kind of innocent, but I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, I thought it was innocent too, but like pretty.
Yeah. The whole scene, though, I mean, like, I felt like him being like, oh, why'd you have to wear that? It wasn't weird. Like, it could have easily been weird.
I didn't take it as him sexualizing her. I took it as him, like, kind of falling for her in that moment.
Yeah. And Topanga says, because I'm a damsel. And at first I was like, and then she was like, but not the distressed kind. One who's very together and in complete control of her own destiny. I heard like a couple of claps in the crowd and I was like, come on, more people. Like today that would have been like, woo, you know? And he holds up what he's been writing. Everything you need to know is in here. If it ever publishes, I'd like the royalties to go to the ASPCA. Now, out. And he tries to shoo her away and push her out the door. And he's like, Topanga, I'm not like other guys. I've got needs and desires and I'm not sure I can control them. Okay. Now we get like a little more of the explicit allegory here. 9:00 strikes, and we hear Ospenskaya's voiceover. When the moon is full, you will kill the one who cares for you. And Cory's like, you gotta get out, please, before it's too late. Clock strikes, thunder, lightning. It's too late. Ah. And then he looks at Topanga. Okay, look at me. Tell me what you see. And Topanga says, I see you. And Cory says, no, you don't. You see hair and teeth and the beast within me. Topanga grabs Cory's shoulders and she says, "No, I see Cory, the same Cory I've known since I was 3." And Cory says, "I'm not a wolf." And then he looks at his hand. "I'm not a wolf. I'm not a wolf." And then he looks at Topanga, and then they lean in and kiss. And thunder and lightning strike. And Topanga, after kissing him, says, "Yes, you are." And then Cory howls.
I eeked. I was like, because frankly, I didn't quite expect them to kiss, and probably because there was no like build up for this episode for them to be in a relation. So it took me off a little bit,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I was like, oh my god, they kissed. This felt like the kiss to start the relationship, because they've kissed before in season 1, but this felt a little different. This felt like this is like the true start of them being together.
I know. I was like trying to figure out how I felt about this idea of Topanga being like, "Yes, you are a wolf." I don't know. There was something weird. It was weird to hear an adolescent kind of praise a boy for acting like an animal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not like they're in college and she's like, "Yes, you are a wolf." Like, they're so young. They're in 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Yes, you are. You are a wolf." And it just was weird to me. There was
Yeah,
something
I get
very
that.
off-putting about it. It reminded me of that line in that song. Dun, 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 try to domesticate you, but you're an animal. Baby, it's in your nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. Remember that song got so much heat?
Oh, so much heat. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
Super objectifying.
right, it's super objectifying. And that same energy is happening here, but different. And it's the age. It really is the age. It's Topanga being like, yeah, like into Cory being, because I think I'm associating being quote unquote a wolf or an animal as having no ability to control your urges. And so I'm thinking about sexual assault. And I think that adolescents are in really vulnerable spaces constantly because they're trying to navigate, do I like this and am I interested in this, or am I uncomfortable with this and do I feel taken advantage of? And it's a lot of hormones and it's a lot of urges and it's a lot of people trying to kind of get what they want from one another, but not necessarily having developed the empathy and the capacity to treat people the way that they want to be treated yet. Like, they're still acting like children who kind of just go after what they want and don't think about what you want from them, like kids just want food and they don't think mom's busy right now, I shouldn't ask her for food. Like, they just
Mm-hmm.
want what they want and then go for it. So that's what adolescents are. They're still kids, and so they're kind of selfish, but then they're also developing hormones. And so her stating with confidence, "Yes, you are a wolf and I'm kind of into it," just made me wonder. Like, I think I was aware enough when I probably first saw that episode of like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to feel. Like, I'm supposed to be kind of interested in boys specifically wanting to kiss me and like having urges and desires for me, And I see it a lot with my students, is like, especially the girls, like playing with their power, with their bodies and their outfits and their makeup, and like liking that boys have this urge. I know that like girls do too, but just like in this heteronormative society that we're in, that like boys have these urges, and then it becomes like normalized for girls to like want to draw their natural sex drives towards them or like direct it towards them. And I don't know if they really know what it is that they're getting into or what they're quote unquote asking for, although I
Yeah.
understand that that's like a problematic term right now. But anyway, do you have anything to say about this?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I don't have much to add to that. I agree that it's like uncomfortable. It just feels like too young to be saying that. To your
Yeah.
point, not knowing what you're saying,
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe it's just me, but like I wasn't sexual at that age, I had
Yeah.
romantic feelings, but I wasn't like, ooh, I'm turned on. That
Yeah.
that wasn't my experience. Maybe others, but
No.
not mine.
No. Yeah, certainly not. So the tag on the episode is we find out that the wolf that escaped the zoo was in the zoo the whole time. Feeney's like, they found him in the aviary, dining on a cockatoo. The way he said that line made me laugh.
Dining
On a cockatoo. The way he said cockatoo was funny. And Cory's like, he never really escaped at all. And Feeney's like, funny how rumors start, isn't it? And then he takes a can from Cory's bin and shakes it to his ear. Drat. Even Feeney was gullible in this
Everybody
episode.
was gullible. The only person that wasn't gullible was Mr. Turner, I think. Everybody else was gullible to something.
But Turner wasn't very intelligent when he was analyzing the Lord of the Flies, saying they don't have lamps. Like, everyone was kind of an idiot in this episode.
Yeah, you're right.
What are your takeaways?
God, I was dreading this question because I have no idea what to take away from this.
Yeah. Same.
I will say I had a word of the day.
Oh, what was your word?
Epilady.
Get your epilady and do me. What's an epilady?
I had to look that one up. It's a device. I guess it's a brand of hair removal. It kind of looks like a razor, but it actually like pulls the hair out as you like pull it up your body, whatever you're trying to pull hair from.
Ugh.
It sounded painful.
So painful.
I hate like tools like that says like gently removes hair. I'm like, you're ripping hair out of your follicles. There's no way that doesn't hurt.
I think my word is wolfsbane.
Ooh, what's wolfsbane?
It was one of the things that Cory had asked his mom to buy at the store. It's a poisonous plant. It contains aconite, which is a highly toxic alkaloid that can cause severe poisoning if ingested. It's been associated with werewolves and other mystical creatures. It's often depicted as a means to repel or harm them. It was used as a method of execution in the past. And in Greek mythology, wolfsbane is said to have originated from the slobber of Cerberus, the three-headed dog guarding the gates of hell. All right. That concludes the episode. We have no takeaways. We'll try again next time. Sorry, writers. All right. Thanks for listening. Rate and review us. If you like what you heard, please rate us 5 stars. It really helps. Follow us at Boy Meets Wine Podcast. The name of the wine we had today was Illusion. Theme song credit goes to Julia Rosa. And next week's episode is Season 2, Episode 7. Wake up, little Cory. Literature comes alive for Cory. Ooh, can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.